Welcome to Court Cousins. Two cousins sharing laughs and talking the team they love, the Orlando Magic. Let's get into it. Welcome everybody to episode 4 of Court Cousins. My name is Kyle. I am joined by my co-host Jason the Pich. On today's show, we have a social media roundup. We're going to play a little fill in the blank. We're going to throw down some bets in wager time. And then we have something special, a special segment at the very end for you all. But first, as we do on every show, we like to have a little social emotional check-in. But on our show, an Orlando Magic podcast, we do it on the scale of a Robin Lopez. So, Pich, how are you doing today for the ROLO Check In?
Well, my ROLO Check In today is a Dueling Lopez's, Lopi, maybe if you want. And it's not the inclusion of his brother. It's just two faces of him at one time. I've got him here with Milwaukee. You can see on the left, he is looking up and he is looking forward like things are going well. This is me outside of work right now over here. I'm feeling good. I'm looking together and I'm looking up and things are going well. Now, this me over here on the right, this is me at work. Things are gruff. I'm not sure what's happening. I don't think other people are sure what's happening. And it seems like a little bit of a mess. And it's tough sledding. But, you know, he'll probably still get you 7 points and 7 boards some way, shape, or form.
Well, I'm sorry
you're
living this dual nature right now. I'm going to stay on your inspirational first Rolo. And I am feeling now, I went a little outside the lines for this one. I found a photo of both Robin and Brooke at Disney World, I believe in Taiwan. And I mean, if you know anything about Rolo, there's no place that he's happier than at a theme park, especially at Disney. And so he and Brooke are coming out of what looks like the Disney store, bags in hand, smiles on face. And that's how I'm feeling right now, man. We've released our first public episode 3. There was so much great feedback. Thank you, everybody who reached out and gave those positive affirmations. Made me feel really good about what we're doing. And, you know, I just do this because I get to hang out with you. And I'm an only child. You're my only cousin in the United States. So you're the closest thing I got to a Brooke Lopez, man. And this is like Disney World for me. So I'm just, having a great time doing this pod as a creative outlet. And, seeing how fans are reacting has been great. Now, let's talk about some fan reactions in the social media roundup, our first segment for today. In our social media roundup, ladies and gentlemen, we scour the internet looking for your funniest or most insightful memes, tweets, posts, and include them here on the show. Please start reaching out to us. We're at court_cousins on most all media. So we'd love to hear from you. All right. So the first one is from Magic Twitter stalwart at MagicMan816, better known as Jeff Weltgod. And we have a mean Skeletor. What is it? Upset Skeletor meme. You're probably seeing these online. And MagicMan816 writes, Franz hate tonight is unbelievable. I think this is after game 2. And Angry Skeletor says, y'all gave Aaron Gordon 7 years of patience, but won't give Franz at least his rookie preseason? All reclined. And then he runs off. Until we meet again. How do you feel about Skeletor, Pich?
Skeletor is arguably the best part of He-Man. I mean, I don't think anybody was really ever interested in him. Castle Grayskull's overrated. Skeletor all the way. One of the best bad guys. Definitely an underrated villain. When you're talking about all-time villains, Skeletor not getting enough credit. So he's doing some of his best work with memes right now, and this is another one of those. But I gotta say, I disagree here a little bit because I didn't give Aaron Gordon 7 years. That's way too long. I was pretty much over Aaron Gordon after maybe year 3 or 4. I was like, okay, if you can't win the slam dunk championship, I have no interest in you. Like, no. It's all he was good for was dunking. I was over him, but I am gonna say that I'm going to give Franz a lot more time than just this preseason rookie time. I'm not loving what I'm seeing from him right now. I'm not sure where he's going to fit in, but he's not going to get 7 years from me, but I'm going to give him at least a year or two and see if he can develop down the road. He may have a little bit of a JJ Redick thing going where it's going to take him a while to get going. I'm not positive, but that's kind of how I feel about it.
I felt the Franz hate starting to bubble in my gut. But then I thought, no, patience, temperance, Kyle, and it was able to subdue the monster. But I did see a lot of it out there. And I don't think it's on Franz. I think it's because he was picked at 8, and that comes with a different level of expectation. I think if we had gotten him 15 through 20, we would be feeling fine. And we're just let him develop. He's going to grow into it. But the expectation of being a top 10 guy, I think in this instance, is what's driving some of this worry or anxiety, because you expect a guy that's in the top 10 to kind of step in and be assertive. And Franz is going to take a year, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. I think people need to look at this less like, oh, it's a top 10 pick, he needs to produce immediately, and look at it more as this is our second pick. You know, we got Suggs first. He's the one that we're going to need to do stuff immediately. We can let him develop. We have that time. You'd like to think you get a better player a little higher, but I don't know how deep this draft is. Time will tell. But let's give him a little bit more time, I say.
I think Franz is going to be a really good NBA player, an above average starter for certain. I've loved some of the defense that we've seen him playing in these preseason games. And in game 3 against the Spurs, he knocked down a couple triples too. So you can see the path before him. And so we'll just, in what God will trust, and just trust in the front office that they saw something in this kid. But I do think it's going to take a little while, and that's okay. He'll have time to develop. So on to Reddit now. We were on Twitter, and now we're going over to Reddit. Shout out to @Migzors on Reddit. He is the moderator there. So thanks for everything that you and the moderators do for that. On Reddit, there was a GIF. I'm not sure what it is. What do you have?
It's GIF.
It's GIF. We'll go GIF.
I'm pretty sure it's GIF. Yeah.
There's a GIF. I'm not sure when it's from. Probably 2 years ago, of Jonathan Isaac meeting the Stifle Tower at the rim, Rudy Gobert, and swatting it out of there. Not many rim rockers like Rudy Gobert out there, and Jonathan Isaac is putting him away. We just hope that he's going to get back to this. But the comments are what make this hilarious. So Ajax0626 writes, met him at the rim like Gobert was the vaccine. And Byrie Swerving writes, now that I think about it, J.I. has always had a tendency to reject shots. This should have been obvious. What say you, Pich?
I mean, this is great banter and fantastic comments. I mean, for all the negative stuff you've heard about comment sections, this is the exact opposite. This is great wordplay. It's tons of fun. No matter how you feel about this, it's pretty funny. It's also pretty funny that the guy that kind of introduced COVID to the NBA is the one that's getting rejected by him in this. So it's a nice tie-in all the way around. I mean, it'd be hard to script or write a better kind of setup and joke and picture than this.
And I put, a regular comment below somewhere on this feed. I just hope that we see this player again. Even, 85, 90% of what this player was is still a great player in the NBA. So we're just hoping that Jonathan Isaac gets back and healthy, and he's on the court soon. Next post. This one is back to Twitter from @MLermo. This is from Mike. And Mike was, nice enough to help us organize ourselves moving into this season. Mm-hmm. And he helped us with a Venn diagram. We can draw two things to compare and contrast them. What's the same, what's different. So Mike writes, in anticipation of the upcoming NBA season, I made this chart to help everyone keep Orlando Magic straight. Mm-hmm. And in our Venn diagram, we have on one side Wagner's, and on the other side, Bamba. Franz all alone in the just Wagner place. And in the middle, we have two Mo's, a Mo Bamba and a Mo Wagner. That's helpful.
He spent as much time on this diagram as you should. It's quick. It's fun. You look at it, you have a chuckle. again, this is one of the good things of social media for all the bad for all the bad press it gets. This is a good, light, and fun one, and it's out there. You got to just find the good stuff, block the hate, and this one's fun.
Yeah, I don't envy David Steele, our play-by-play guy, if and when we have both the Wagners out there and Mo. That's going to be quite the tongue twister, perhaps.
It doesn't sound like an enviable position at all, but if they're both playing well, then give me Mo.
David Steele is a professional. Godspeed, sir. The next post is on Instagram. I think you pulled this one, Pich, from Orlando Magic HQ. Shout out to the Ozone podcast. They do a great job there. And they put together a great graphic of the Ring the Bell with Coach Mosley on it and Jalen Suggs on it, the big blue bell in the middle. And it writes, Coach Jamal Mosley has installed a magic blue bell in the Advent Health Practice Facility that gets rung when players make quote unquote winning plays, hustle plays in practice. Now, this has been talked about, Pich, but we haven't yet talked about it on the pod. What do you think about the blue bell?
I'm for anything that builds camaraderie between teams. If there's anything I've seen over the last month of really digging into the team and seeing what they're doing, it looks like they have good team camaraderie. They're all getting along, they're having fun. The veterans seem to be mixing well with the young guys, and that's great. And some teams will do like a hard hat for the player who worked the hardest. Some will do a belt. Whatever brings people together, I'm for. So if this bell's working, I think it's great. And I also love that Suggs is on this graphic because I feel like he is the one I'm seeing a lot of hustle plays from in the preseason so far, and I'm loving that, and I hope it spreads to the team. And if this bell thing catches off, I say let's get all kinds of bells in the arena when we have a home game. Let's sign Raja Bell. Let's do everything we can to get bells in there. We'll get sponsorship from Taco Bell. Let's go all the way. Let's run for the border and put bells all over this place. You're welcome for the marketing campaign, Orlando Magic. Bells, do it.
Oh my God, man. I hope when we go down for Reddit night on January 23rd that there's bells in the arena. That is a great idea. No cost to you, marketing department, from Pich. Yeah, I can appreciate a symbol and a metaphor being an English teacher. And also trying to be a leader myself, I really can see the value in what Jamal Mosley is trying to do. Energy is high right now, like you said. But there are going to be dog days. We're at the beginning of the season. Hopes are high. Everyone's energetic. It's going to get tough. And Coach Mosley is already trying to build those systems, build the mindset in our team that I think will be really beneficial in those difficult times. I love seeing him up on the sideline this past preseason game, much more animated than I noticed before. Really coaching up the guys, really cheering up the guys. And I think that this is what this young, talented team is really craving, that type of leadership. I think Weltman hit it on the head, bringing in Coach Jamal Mosley.
I agree. I think it's going the right way. The key will be is that whether they're still ringing the bell when they get 30, 40 games in the season and they only have like 1 or 2 wins and stuff like this. Are they still going to have that hunger? Because I feel like if they have that, it's going to probably translate to wins. And by the way, I heard you mention that you're an English teacher. That's weird. That never comes up on the show.
Do I lean into that trope too hard? Dang.
I very rarely mention my job.
You have before, though. I just, it just comes out of me, man. Us teachers,
I know.
I'm just talking about it. We just talk about it.